I've talked before about a group, I call it China's version of Mega, right? And yes, I've said something pretty harsh things about them, and because a lot of their ideas sound, honestly, pretty ridiculous. But here's the part that still genuinely confuses me. One of the most common claims in the West is that China stole technology, ideas, and knowledge from the West over the past few decades. That's very negative narrative about modern China, and most people are familiar with it, right? But these Chinese megatype groups argue something very different, almost opposite. They claim that long before the Western Enlightenment that China already had advanced knowledge, systems, and concepts that later appeared in Europe. And then they bring up things I personally cannot verify. For example, they say the Vatican libraries and museums hold a massive number of ancient Chinese books collected before the Enlightenment. If that's true, and it would suggest cultural exchange happened much earlier than most of us think. But again, I cannot independently confirm this. And then there is language stuff. And they point out similarities in pronunciation between English and ancient Chinese concepts. Words like king and queen, in which they connect to the ancient Chinese idea of yin and yang, Taoism, right? And yang equals qian and sounds like king, and yin equals kun and sounds like queen. So that sounds familiar, right? Or words like school, police, clock, stone. And they claim you can find phonetic or conceptual overlaps if you dig deep enough. To be clear, a lot of this could be coincidence, cherry picking, or just bad linguistics. For example, Qian Kun. Qian Kun sounds like king and queen, right? But that could be bad linguistics. And that's exactly why I don't like this Chinese mega mindset. And they jump to conclusions way too fast. But here's what bothers me. If you actually go looking and you'll find surprising number of these overlaps, enough to make you pause, even if you stay skeptical. So I'm stuck in this uncomfortable place and I don't fully believe them and I don't have the tools to verify them. But I also cannot completely dismiss everything either. That's why I'm curious what Western audiences think, especially Americans. Where do you draw the line between coincidence, cultural exchange, and historical fantasy?